not 100%, but it's a good tip. You just say, make it hurt for me, and just watch what they do, because instinctively they know where it's coming from, even though intellectually they might not. Okay. Another tip is whenever you're dealing with pain, I'll say this again at the appropriate time there, but whenever you're dealing with pain, the first thing you need to do in a case history is ask the person to show you where the pain is. You have to watch what they do with their hands, because their hands are almost always more articulate than people's mouths. Okay, so if they start up here and their fingers go across their shoulder, then it's probably a neck problem. And really you need to be treating the neck. If they start here and come up, or they start on this side of the shoulder, or they reach around or point to the front, it's probably a shoulder problem. And you need to be thinking about diagnosing the shoulder. But it's a really tricky thing. I still get tricked occasionally where people come in and you think it's a shoulder problem because there's a lot of tenderness. You can find little things wrong there, but really it turns out after a couple of treatments you're not getting anywhere, that you've got to go to the neck and treat that. In terms of the specific symptoms you should be aware, this is something that you'll get in your notes, but it's really worth, I've got in my Close to the Bone, I've got a similar table. You can download one from the net, or you can just make your own up here. But it's really worth having one of these in your clinic. I have one that's laminated, and I still from time to time need to go and pull it off the shelf and have a look, because it's quite a lot of detail in here. But being able to recognise the various patterns that come from neck problems. And in terms of shoulder stuff, it's really this one up here is the main one there. The C5 nerve root comes out between C4-5, that's the C4-5 segment, and either disc problems or joint problems or a combination of both will tend to cause pain that runs over the top of the shoulder into the deltoid patch there. So this is a very common area for shoulder pain to occur. If they touch up here and roll down there, there's a very good chance it's coming from this segment, in which case your local treatment aimed at that segment is going to produce the good results, not treating the shoulder. If there's pins and needles in this area, that's a very strong sign that there's a neck problem. There's not really any nerve compression stuff that happens in the shoulder. If they're getting pins and needles on the lateral side, it's almost certainly coming from there. Weakness is not all that common there. So that's the most common neck problem there that you might be confused as shoulder problem. But the next one down, C5-6, coming from the C6 nerve root, that tends to cause pain in the biceps area, deep in the biceps, and in particular down here in the upper forearm there. So it's not going to confuse it with a shoulder problem so much. The pins and needles for C5-6 tends to be thumb and first finger. So they're the two that you're likely, but particularly this one. They're pretty common. This is the most common segment to be affected. But these two are not uncommon or rare, and you'll see some of those. So if you think that it's a neck problem, treat the neck. And so your main point here, if this is the problem there, is going to be right over the C4-5 joint on the affected side. But that's always a problem in treating arm and leg problems, is the extent to which they come from the neck or the low back. It's not an easy diagnostic decision to make, but they're two good tips. Get them to move. If they move their head first, thick neck. If they move their shoulder first, thick shoulder.
David, when you said joint, you mean the facet joint?
The facet joint in the neck there, yeah. So that's just, that's the case, that's just a simple case of referred pain where you really need to treat the origin, the origin, not the root, if you like, not the branch, the cause rather than the location of the symptom.